Welcome, Poli Glow family. It's Lenny, and this is Luis Perez. Luis, we're here. I know you guys are doing some work on this RV, but I want to talk to you first about your company, and I want you to tell us about your company. What's it called? How long have you guys in business? Where do you guys work mainly? What area do you work into? Let's start with some of those questions, and we'll get into a little bit more depth as to what we're doing today.
Sounds good. Well, my name's Luis Perez. I'm with the Master's Touch Mobile Detailing. We've been in business since '98. My pops has, and I've been professionally detailing for about 15 years or so now myself.
Awesome. And where do you guys work? What area do you cover?
We travel most of South Florida, stay on the East Coast, so pretty much anything, but we have traveled for, we'll accommodate most work.
Yeah.
Anything in Florida.
They're a mobile detailing company, right?
Yes,
They do
sir.
boats and RVs.
Yep, boats,
right?
RVs. We've done a couple planes.
Awesome.
That's our gig.
Awesome. So, when did you guys first start using Poli Glow, and why did you start using Poli Glow?
Well,
Let's talk a little bit about that, and tell me what you were using before.
Well, beforehand, my dad started off as a detailer at a company in Fort Pierce called Owl's Motorhomes. And then from there, he was just a maintenance guy, buffing, using big buffers, orbital buffers, compounds cut and everything like that. As the years went on, we realized it was getting a little too tiring for him. There was a new product on the market called Poli Glow. They were based out of Miami. And then from there, he started giving it a shot. The company was fresh. He started with them. He started practicing. He got better at it. We realized the results were extremely better. Less fatigue, much easier, and we just took off from there.
Yeah. So, and that's the point, right? I mean, the job is a little bit easier. You don't have to do all this heavy buffing
Right.
and compounding
Right.
and cutting.
There's no dust. There's no electric being used. There's no heavy machinery. There's no chance of you burning through your fiberglass.
That's actually a really good point. I was going to make that point later, because with some of those machines, you can cut all the gel coat right off.
You'll
right?
go right through it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to have a gentle hand no matter what, but there is some work involved. You still got to get the
Yes.
oxidation off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there is some work with that, but we have products for that. And in some cases, right, you guys have to do some wet sanding in order to get some really heavy oxidation off. Isn't that the
Yes.
case?
Yeah, with the heavy oxidation, we'll do a light wet sanding.
Right.
Just eliminate, but most of the time the poly strip takes care of the work.
Awesome. What's an indication? Like, what would you tell people who are asking you, how do I know the oxidation is off?
I would tell people that you can see when your oxidation is gone or that your area is completely prepped when you can no longer see the cloudiness. Once it dries up, you'll be able to see, maybe here's a corner that needs a little more scrubbing, but
So
that'll definitely tell
a
you.
heavily oxidized RV or boat is going to look cloudy, and it's going to look,
Yes, you'll see the cloudiness of the oxidation. You'll see
colors,
the white.
yeah.
You'll feel the chalky feeling on it.
yeah.
And then once it's gone, it won't feel chalky.
So if you rub your fingers on it, you won't get to pick up that chalk anymore,
Yep,
right?
that's when you
and
know
it'll
it's
look a
prepped.
little bit more uniform, but it'll still look dull when
Right.
it's prepped,
Yes.
right? It's not going to look shiny, obviously,
of
because
course.
some people call us and say, "Well, my shine is gone," and I'm like, "Well, that's what's supposed to happen." Now, let's say you're putting Poli Glow on and you still see a couple white spots. What does that tell you?
It means that area wasn't fully prepped.
Okay. Perfect. So then you'll take Poli Glow off, scrub that area a little bit more so it looks
Right.
uniform, and then reapply Poli Glow.
Yeah, and certain occasions if we've done a big section and we notice one small spot, we'll take a small sprayer and just a hand rag, and we'll just work on that specific
Right,
area instead
right.
of getting rid of all
Right.
your work that you just did.
Right. And that's you're like spot cleaning.
Yeah, you're spot cleaning
Yeah.
it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So let's talk a little bit about this particular RV. This is a great scenario. So one of the things that I like about Poli Glow, or what I call the power of Poli Glow, is that it makes your maintenance simple.
Yes.
Okay. And what I mean by that, and you know this, but just for their sake, I'm gonna just reiterate. In typical scenarios, when people have like waxes and other polishes that they use, every year they got to get out there with their buffer and their compound.
Every
and
6 months. The
6
season.
months, right?
Yeah.
They got to strip it all down. They got to start all over.
Yeah.
But with the power of Poli Glow is this: once you clean it up and prep it out the first time,
Yep.
and you apply Poli Glow and it looks great,
Yep.
what do you got to do the following year? How do you keep it looking great?
So the reason why Poli Glow is a lot simpler and nicer to use than wax, in our opinion, is Poli Glow goes on by layers. Wax goes on one coat, and that's it. It's done with. Once it diminishes, it starts to slowly spot away. Poli Glow layers will slowly vanish evenly because they go on by layers. So if we come back to do a maintenance on this one, we don't have to strip it completely down. I'll do a light cleaning, a light polish prep removal to just get rid of those top layers of Poli Glow, and then I'll reapply, and that'll be that.
Yeah. Now, would there be times where, like, you come back at a year? Now, we're in Florida, you know, high UV index, high humidity, so it's a little bit less than a year, maybe 10 to 11 months on this particular situation. But you'll come back, you'll notice that it's got maybe a couple of issues, you know, but will there be an occasion where the thing looks great, you just wash it with soap and you reapply Poli Glow?
There will be certain occasions when in the right climate, and if it's under, you know, undercover, but it all depends on the location. You're closer to the ocean, you might get a little bit more sea spray, and if you're further out west of town, then you'll usually be good.
Yeah. But in a scenario like this, where, you know, you do have maybe a little bit of oxidation or a little bit of changes in the coating, you may need to do something a little bit more intense, like a very diluted form of your poly prep, just to remove some of the outer oxidation. You're not stripping it all down.
No, it's still
you're basically doing,
that's
you know, with a wash, right?
That's actually what we're doing here. This layer right here gets the most sun. When the sun comes on the other side, the palms drop on it and the drip from the awning. So right here, all we're gonna do is just remove the top layer and then reapply. The rest of it will get a light cleaning, and then we'll reapply all around.
Yeah. So this is a very quick process when we're talking about maintenance. You wash it down, you reapply 3-4 coats of Poli Glow, and you should be good for another year. You're not out there with your buffer, stripping, compounding, you know, killing yourself.
We showed up here at 10 o'clock. You know, we enjoyed ourselves our breakfast. We're gonna, me and my dad, take our time, and we'll be done by 3 o'clock. And the whole RV, top to bottom, nothing will be.
I mean, you guys are working on the roof and you're doing some other stuff, but this is a nice sized RV. There's a lot of surface area here, so there's some work to do.
I mean, a team of two, a 35 footer, you save yourself a lot of hassle bringing out electric cords, setting up ladders, climbing up and down with a buffer. You know, people lose your balance. It gets a little scary. And I'd rather use a light mitt that I can just.
I know you love the mitt.
I know you love the mitt. I love it.
So, how many coats of Poli Glow will you apply to this now today?
It all depends. You know, some products, some units like to take a little more, some take a little less. It all depends. This side's probably going to take a couple more coats, maybe 4 to 5. And on the other side, it's more protected, maybe only 2 or 3.
Okay. Well, listen, Luis, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today. I look forward to seeing the end product. I know it's going to look great. You guys do wonderful work. If anybody's looking for a detailer for their boat or RV in the South Florida region, Vero Beach, which is where we are today, Masters Touch, how can we get in touch with you guys?
You can get in touch with us with a call or text at 772-453-1569.
All right, thank you all. Peace out, Poli Glow family.